Hey, Adam,
Jeez,
one
why,
thing.
why do you think they're called bumpers, Gary?
I don't know.
Because they come at the beginning, at the end, like bumpers.
Alex, you're a marketing guy. Do you like that design behind Paul? Does that sweet logo thing look pretty cool to you?
Hey, I forgot to hit the record button.
Yeah, that's really professional, isn't it?
Well, this is a professional podcast.
I met her in a parking lot and was handed two little Yorkies. And the only person I knew that knew Yorkies was Paul. So I called Paul and said, Paul.
Sweet Talk is a weekly 20-minute podcast brought to you by the Continuing Education and Workforce Training Division of Idaho State University's College of Technology. Find us on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and SoundCloud, and subscribe today. Now it's time to get started with Sweet Talk.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Sweet Talk, our weekly podcast here at Idaho State University's Continuing Education and Workforce Training. As always, I'm your co-host, Paul Dickey, the Video Instruction Manager and Apprenticeship Coordinator here at Sweet. And as always, joining me is our director, Gary Salazar. Gary, how are you doing today?
Thank you, Paul. I'm doing fine. I'm staying warm inside today because it is snowing outside, and I'm glad to be here with a great guest we're going to have too. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Fine, but you're right. I mean, people who might listen to this podcast from out of state, in Idaho, our winter's generally kind of done and over with by February-ish, and it just keeps going.
It's giving and giving.
Going. Yeah, it's the winter that keeps on giving.
Yeah, but we need that water, so I'm not too sad. I am ready for
I keep
sun.
hearing that. I keep hearing that.
Yeah. Hey, thank you very much, Paul. And we're also joined by our marketing coordinator, Angela Wilhelm. Angela, how are you today?
I'm doing really well. For those of you listening and just heard that it's snowing, we are recording this on April 21st, and we have had probably more snow in April than we've ever had in any April, I think, in history. I'm doing really well. Thank you, Gary. Today we are continuing our college readiness series, and we have a really special guest. We have Ellie Leith, who is the TAP Resource Center Coordinator up in our college readiness and preparedness department upstairs. Ellie, how are you doing today? And can you tell us a little bit about yourself and the TAP Center?
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm doing well today. I also made it through the snow. I'm hoping that we'll get a break for my son's baseball game tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll see. But anyhow, I'm doing great. My name is Ellen Leith, but my friends call me Ellie, so please feel free. As Angie mentioned, I'm the TAP Resource Center Coordinator. So the TAP Center, the acronym TAP stands for Tutoring, Academic Support, and Peer Mentoring. And we have all kinds of programs that fit underneath those topics. So mostly what I'm responsible for, well, first, I'm a Pocatello native. I went to Pokie High. I did my undergraduate and graduate work here at Idaho State. So I just can't get enough of ISU, I guess. Feels like home to me. So I love working here. I love the work I do. So the TAP Center, we do tutoring support for all of our College of Tech programs. So our 30 plus programs. What I do is I reach out to instructors. I find my tutors all kinds of different ways, but usually instructors have a good idea who is a natural helper in the class. Those are the kind of people I love to have as tutors because they're doing it anyway. And so they're kind of like on-call contractors in a way out within the programs. For example, I have a couple for PTA. I have 2 different tutors for welding to meet the needs of the different start times of the courses. I have tutors for our EzTech programs, of course. Those courses tend to need some support, those programs. Another part of the TAP Center, we have a physical space up here on the 3rd floor. So our 3rd floor, we really like to think of as kind of a support hub where we have the Center for New Directions, we have the START program, We have a computer lab where students can print and get technical support. And then, of course, the TAP Center, which now I'm pleased to say we have math support 8 to 5, which has been a goal of mine. I'd say 80% of our appointments and walk-in 2Ts, people coming looking for support or looking for math help. So I've had to hire lots of math nerds, affectionately call them nerds. I have great support that way. So feel free to send people up for walk-in help, or if they need a little more of a one-on-one time, we can certainly schedule an appointment. So that's the T in the TAP Center. The A is academic support, and this looks like basic computer skills support. We also help people figure out Moodle, because if you can't do Moodle, you cannot succeed in your courses. You're just going to flounder. We, do time management support, help with study skills, that kind of thing. So we kind of do it all. The peer mentoring aspect, what I do there is especially with non-traditional students. So for example, if I have a couple of gals in the robotics program, or if I have a couple of guys in the early childhood education program, they may feel a little out of place. They're just non-traditional in their course. And so I will often match up a student who's really getting it, who's really fitting in with the program, who feels socially comfortable, and match them up with another student who maybe isn't reaching that level of academic success just because they don't quite fit. They don't feel they fit anyway, socially kind of with the group. And they're not feeling as comfortable as they could. And so we do some peer mentoring work that way as well.
Cool. Very, very cool. When you say so many things you do there, Ellie, and thank you for that. And by the way, they are located in the RFC building on the 3rd floor. So that's building 48 if you're new here. Do students who come to you, are they enrolled in programs? Do they have to be enrolled in programs, or can somebody who says, I'm thinking of coming, I haven't registered with the university yet, but I'm kind of weak on math. Can they take advantage of your programs?
That's a great question, Gary. So I really have to prioritize my resources in a way that first supports CEWT students.
Okay.
Second, I support START students, and we also support adult education students. And so technically people need to be enrolled in one of those programs. But we'll find a way to support them. We also have, if they don't meet the criteria for one of those clear designations, what we can do is have students or potential students start by coming to some of our adult ed tutoring sessions, which are in the evenings. I know they're Monday through Thursday, I believe about 5:30 to 7:30. And we have tutoring out in the open area. So there won't be any support staff around, but we do have a couple of great math tutors on duty and an English tutor as well. So that's kind of a last option for someone who isn't yet in a program, isn't clearly meeting the criteria to come in and get as much free support and tutoring as they want.
Yeah,
But we'll
that's
help
good.
get them there.
Yeah, really good description too, and you mentioned English too. So I'm guessing you get students who aren't very fluent in maybe English, and maybe they're culturally coming from another country. They want to learn, they want to enroll, and you might get some. Hey, how do I improve my language skills? Do you get some of those students?
Right now I actually have a student who's enrolled in our ESL courses, and he just needs a little extra help with his pronunciation. He has a native language that is traditionally really tough to form, in particular, a few of our English sounds. And so I have him working one-on-one with one of my newer TAP Center tutors. TAP Center tutors would be the ones that are stationed here in the RFC. This young woman is, she's going through a 4-year program. She wants to be a teacher and she wants to specialize in ESL. And so we're able to match up this young man who really has such a high vocabulary, but he just can't get the words across. People can't understand him. And so he's been working with this tutor who she's just loving it. This is what she wants to do. So it's pretty rewarding to see that.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for explaining that.
So Ellie, if I'm understanding correctly, this is a free service for students?
Yes, this is a free service for students. So I'm able to utilize Perkins funding for 10 months of the year to support a staff of, right now I have 34 student staff, which it's constantly shifting, constantly changing, especially this time of year. People are wrapping up and getting set up for next semester. But yes, totally free. There used to be a limit, I believe, on the number of hours they could take, but I really have done away with that rule because it's my rule, it's my center now. And if someone needs a lot of support, we're going to do that. We're going to find a way to get them what they need.
Because
Very cool.
Some students have more needs than other students.
Oh, absolutely. Some students just need help learning how to learn. And that's one thing that's really special about the TAP Center is that the environment we've created is one of, there are a couple different levels. So people can come in and study and kind of be in their own world. People can come in and chill, so to speak, and witness tutoring sessions and see that it's not that scary. The tutors are very kind and helpful, because really we all know it's intimidating to ask for help with something that you're not very good at. And that's one thing we're working hard to do, is break that barrier, that kind of stigma that asking for help is a bad thing. Really, I tell my tutees and people that I get to know that asking for help is a sign of strength. And so I really want my tutors to foster that in the physical center, so that when people come, they are welcomed. They can take that one-on-one tutoring appointment if they want to, or they can just, I've had some tutees, some students come in and say, I just want to sit next to the tutor, and they kind of hold me accountable while I'm doing my homework. I'm able to, just be around students that are doing better than I am, and that kind of lifts them up. It's like everybody rises together.
Very cool.
Have you ever had someone, tutee, come in and utilize your program, but then they kind of flourish, and then they no longer need the aid? They just go, I've got it, thank you so much. And they just, at that point, they start just succeeding.
All the time. And that's my favorite. And I write those things down for the next year's information. It's that's the best part, is seeing someone who hasn't understood from their professor. I mean, sometimes students who show up just don't get it because it's presented in a way that they don't learn that way. And so we figure out how they learn. What's their learning style? How can we take this information and get it to them, deliver it in a package that they can make sense of? And so, yeah, Paul, that happens frequently. Just yesterday, I had a woman who, she's so busy. She has kids and, taking care of her parents and working, and she's just keeps trying to better herself and get this education. She needs some help with reading skills. She's a second language learner as well. And she told me, after working with one of my really gifted tutors, the tutors I have in my TAP Center are really multi-talented. They are able to help students with more than just a particular course. So anyhow, this woman, she made a point of expressing to me, which is tough in her second language, but she said, hey, that tutor showed me in a way that I could understand, and I feel like I can do it now. And it just kind of pushes that motivation, encourages her to come back, even though it's really hard to find the time to do something hard. The experience that they have with those tutors is pretty amazing sometimes. So I love those stories. That's my favorite part.
So, of course, my next follow-up question is, have you ever had someone who came in, the tutees, they get tutored, they grasp it, they understand, and then they become a tutor themselves? Yes,
I have. And that is kind of a, I don't know, like a magical story in a way, really, because I do have that. And if you I have some tutors that went through the START program. My lead tutor right now, she's been with me. I inherited her. I've been the coordinator for about 2 years now. And this woman, she went through the START program, and so she knows exactly what those students are facing, not only academically, but personally, and the type of things they're going to face when they're done with the support that the START program offers and moving on to hopefully a CTE program. So yeah, it really is powerful for a tutor to be able to say, you know, I came to this tutoring center and I got the help I needed when I was failing chemistry. I got a C, I got through it. You know, just that personal story to be able to tell someone, there's nothing like it. It's the strongest advertising there could be.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, when somebody, and I kind of fell into this category and got really lucky in meeting people who assisted me coming through college. But when somebody shows up on your doorstep, the elevator opens up and they go, "Oh, I don't know, I need help." What is the process for them? What's the first things that we do with these students who are looking for some kind of assistance?
Yeah, so they're going to first meet a friendly face, Diana or Mary, and they'll ask them what are they doing? What do they need? They'll direct them. Pretty much anybody in the College of Tech who needs support needs help. And also some programs are open to community members as well. Unfortunately, mine's not, but if someone shows up at my program, I will help them find the help they need regardless. But yeah, so the process would be, you know, are you here for Center of New Directions? Do you need tutoring support? And from there, if they're needing some assistance with tutoring, I usually do a quick assessment by way of, you know, just narrowing it down, which course, what's going on, what class. A lot of times people that show up in the academic center really don't need, well, I'd say some, maybe 10%, 20% that show up really don't need tutoring. They need to know where Benny's pantry is. They need to know how to get to their counseling appointment. They need to know how to have a parking pass, that kind of stuff. So we're really, all of these teams up here work together really well in that we get them, make sure they're okay, and then we figure out what they need and which department they need to be with to get the support they need. And sometimes it's all of us, you know. I have people who take math tutoring or chemistry tutoring and then head over to Center for New Directions for an appointment. And
Right. And you mentioned parking passes. I mean, I know that's sometimes an issue for people
Yeah.
coming onto our campus, but if somebody's in our parking lot, you get them a parking pass so they don't have to pay for that. Is that right?
It's a little more convoluted than that, unfortunately. I cannot spend my funds on parking passes. And so if they're in the START program, if they're in an adult education program, then they can have a parking pass. Students who are coming just for tutoring, I hope they are used to walking around campus, because the closest yellow pass parking is Reed's, and then they can park, I believe, for free at Holt, like on the north end of Holt or something. But
all right, good.
So,
thanks for explaining that.
Yeah, so my TAP tutors, the ones that are here like 20 hours a week, manning the ground, so to speak, they usually just buy the passes like we do.
Okay. And you mentioned the hours. Are you open weekdays? Are you open on Saturdays or
Yes,
weekends?
we're open weekdays from 8 to 5. There's always someone here. There's always someone who can help with math. And then if someone needs help with English or other things, it's listed on the schedule.
Okay.
We are not open on the weekends. And also, I have a 10-month contract, so I won't be open over the summer. But I do have a good relationship with University Tutoring and other tutoring entities, so I can direct students to still be able to get some support. UT's been great to pick up some slack. For example, I don't have anyone right now who can do ethics, but University Tutoring does. And so sometimes we trade students a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great collaboration, being able to
It's
leverage
really
both
good.
resources. Super job with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Ellie, we just want to make sure we're getting close to the end of this podcast. And would love to give you the opportunity to mention if somebody wanted to find out more about you, what would be the best way? Do they call? Do they go to a website? Do they just come on up the elevator? What would you suggest to them?
Well, really just checking us out in the wild, coming up the elevator and stopping by the TAP Center would be the best way to do it. You'll really get a feel of what goes on in there. You'll see some serious studying. You'll see some, there's kind of something for everybody. I feel like I need to expand my center though. We're really been busy. But also you can go to the TAP website, of course. So go to Bengal Web or go to, isu.edu and search TAP, and you will get more information than you probably need to know, but it'll let you know where we're at. Again, we're on the 3rd floor, room 380. That's building 48. It's the RFC. And from the website, you can request a tutoring appointment that I will see immediately. Then I will match you up with a tutor who would be able to help you with whatever you're requesting. You can also apply to be a tutor from there. So if you think you might have what it takes, if you're listening out there, if you're a STAR student, if you are a natural helper, if you like to help your classmates, if you notice when your classmates are lost, I would like to talk to you about being a tutor for your program. There are, of course, grade requirements. You have to really be a STAR in order to be a great tutor. But also I have lab attendant positions. That's another smaller part of our TAP Center. We take care of the computer lab up here as far as staffing a lab attendant who has basic technical skills, could help anybody with what they need. You can apply to be a lab attendant from that link as well. You can find out a little bit just more about what we do, but I would highly encourage anyone to just stop by, sit on the couch, have some candy, hang out with tutors. It gets a little bit, I don't want to say wild. That doesn't sound good for a tutoring center, but it gets pretty animated in there on Friday afternoon. It just has become a kind of a cool place to come and study and hang out. And so, yeah.
That is so cool.
Ellie, just one last clarification. So do the tutors get paid?
Oh, yes, the tutors get paid. And I have fought for higher wages for them. I can start my tutors at $12.50 now an hour. And I need to be competitive with Panera or wherever else they're working. And so really, though, I try to push how wonderful it is to have tutor on your resume. When I was a tutor, it really helped me to get my first teaching position because it gave me some of those skills. Now, of course, teaching and tutoring are different vastly. However, they do have some gray area and gray overlap there. So
that's cool.
Yeah,
That's cool that you're doing that.
Are you always looking? You're always looking for tutors as well.
I am always looking for tutors. I am. Now, one of the things that's tough, like for example, right now, I don't have a tutor for CAD, for example, but I also don't have any requests for CAD. And so what happens usually is a student will request, hey, I need assistance in this class. I'll hunt down a tutor, get them trained, get them going, hopefully fast enough to assist this person. But one of the things that's tough with this position is trying to anticipate which programs are going to need tutors. And so I always tell my program tutors, compared to my TAP tutors who are here in the center, my program tutors are kind of on call. And so really, if anyone's interested in being a tutor, come talk to me, and each program is so different that we really need to have a different plan for each special program. So,
but you always need math tutors.
Hmm?
You always need math tutors.
Always need math tutors. Yeah, my math tutors are working all the time. I have 8 tutors who specialize in math, and they are. I had 4 of them in the center yesterday. They were all busy.
All right, cool. Hey, Paul. We're there. We're gonna have to start wrapping this thing up. We have had a great conversation with Ellie. Yeah. Angela, thank you for being a friend with Ellie and bringing her into this conversation. It's truly been awesome. Ellie, thank you for joining us. and talking to us about tutoring, academic support, and peer mentoring, and all the cool things. And for anybody listening, there's a big jam every Friday night up there on that third deck.
Yeah.
I
Sounds
might come in
wild.
there and tell you, hold it down. People are studying, but I'll still go.
Yeah, no, it's been super. Thanks for joining us, Ellie, on our podcast on Sweet Talk. Paul, you want to go ahead and wrap us up?
I'll wrap us up. So, thank you, Ellie, very much for joining us. Angie, as always, thank you. And Gary, can't do this without you, man.
Hey.
So if anyone wants to contact us, check out what we have for offerings at continuing education workforce training. You can visit our website at cetrain.isu.edu. You can also send us an email at cetrain@isu.edu. You can also give us a call at 208-282-3372. And if you like the content of this podcast, please like, share, subscribe, get our message out, give us a good review. We appreciate it, and be safe out there.
Bye, everybody.